Well, today I want to welcome Rhett Laubach. He's here to talk to us about his experiences. He's got quite a lot of speaking experience to share with us. And Rhett, let's get right into the questions. Could you tell us a bit about your background, how you began your speaking career, and what has impacted you with the topics that you talk about?
Absolutely, absolutely, and thanks for having me on. This is exciting. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
I started my speaking career in middle school. Actually, I was influenced to get involved in some student organizations that basically are all about leadership development, personal development within the agriculture industry. I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma on a pig farm, and the student organizations are called 4-H and FFA. And I started giving speeches competitively in those organizations as a middle school and high school student, and just found that I enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed performing, right? I enjoyed, the attention like any middle school or high school student would. And then I discovered this thing called leadership training as an attendee of conferences, and saw that there's these speakers that get paid to not only perform but also serve others with their content. And so I started my own speaking company in college in the early 90s, and I was just getting paid to go out and give little keynotes and little school assemblies, and it was basically just rah, make us feel good, communication, teamwork. But then upon direction from some peers of mine, as well as some mentors, some folks that were out in the speaking world, learned that you could make a business out of this. And so I graduated Oklahoma State University in '96, and just basically spent a few years building my business on the side, and then I took it full time in 1999. And I spend my time now half in front of students and half in front of professionals, delivering keynotes and workshops that cover a broad range of topics. But the ones that I most enjoy delivering focus on time management, stress management, difficult conversations, how to handle those. That's a program that I really enjoy. I think the reason why I enjoy that, Andrea, is because it's based in emotional maturity, but it's also like communication skills. Like if you know how to do A, B, and C, then you're going to be more likely to handle that moment of a difficult conversation more effectively. And I just enjoy that because, as you know, we work in a kind of world of intangibles. We're not building a table, or we're not, out creating something that you can get your hands around. And so when you live in that world, it's really, for me, it is very rewarding to teach someone something that they're going to go use. Right.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that's, and I'll be on anywhere from 100 to 120 stages this year, and so I stay really busy.
Wow, that's incredible. I know the dedication it would take to travel to all those schools, and I've seen your speeches. They're very impactful. Can you talk a little bit about what changed for you? You're going along doing your speaking career, and then suddenly you got bam, hit with something that gave you more purpose and more drive. Can you talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that experience?
Sure. So today is February 16th, 2016, and about a year and a half ago, in the end of August 2014, I found that I had a tennis ball sized brain tumor. And it was found actually through my eyesight. Was having some struggles with my eyesight, and went in for a routine eye exam, and one thing led to another. I was at a hospital getting a CAT scan, and my wife Ashley and I found that I had a tennis ball sized brain tumor. And the short version of the story, Andrea, is that they took it out a month later into September, just a few days after I turned 40, actually. and it was found to be benign. And I've had a couple of follow-up MRIs since then, and the tumor has not returned. So
Excellent.
a lot of blessings,
Yeah.
a lot of good news that's happened since it was discovered end of August. And the way that this has transformed my message to adults as well as to youth really is just, I mean, it's tough to describe. I've always been someone who, when I've told messages about overcoming challenges and struggles, I've always used other people's stories. I mean, I've never broken a bone in my life, right? I mean, I've never had kind of some of these, big struggles, but then, a brain tumor came into my story. And it's been something that has allowed me to teach messages that if you would have told me back then when they found the tumor that this was going to be the message and the meaning to my audience members as I tell this story, I mean, I couldn't have even guessed it. And one of the examples is I have a really good friend who was going to commit suicide. And he said that he chose not to do that because Ashley and I needed his help. Because I was in such a place where we needed obviously so much at that time from our friends and family, and then from perfect strangers. Um, and so me getting a brain tumor saved one of my best friend's lives. Like I would have never even imagined that.
Right.
And the lesson to students in particular is we have pain many times in our life so that other people can serve, right?
Yeah.
That us going through a struggle allows other people to step up and to really live out what is our purpose on this earth, which is to serve one another. Um, and that's a connection that's really difficult for students to make because they're under so much pressure. They have so much stress in their life. They got so many challenges and changes, and they don't feel good about who they are, or about where they're going to school, or their friends, or their family, or their parents, or whatever. I mean, even as simple as how my hair is today, that they wonder why do I have to be going through these things? And so one of the messages is, for my story is, well, your struggles allow other people in your life to serve you and to help you. And so let them do that. That's one of the messages is let people in. Let people know, your closest people know what you're fighting with, what your struggles are. And then that will allow them to, have an opportunity to serve and to help. And then that's also what we are supposed to do for others, right? When we have people that are in pain or in challenges, we say, why? Why does my dad have to be going through this? Why is my friend having to go through this? Well, one of the reasons why is so that we can step up and help them.
Right.
And that's a message that I would have never imagined would come out of my tumor experience. And it's just been it's really been just a wonderful experience being able to take something that's so big, right? Such a big health scare, and use it to help others. It's really been cool.
Yeah, it's very powerful, Rhett.
Yeah.
When I first heard the story and of where you're taking it now, how does that now impact your speeches to students? Do you open with that story and how every day is important?
So my first 5 minutes of most of my programs is laughter. It's fun. It's unexpected. This is not sit and get, right?
Right.
This is a team sport. And so the way that my programs go is it is fun. It is wit. It is music. I use music in all my programs. And then you get them engaged and enjoying the program, and then boom, now let's hit them with a message. And so the Wilson story, and I've named my tumor Wilson because I keep a Wilson tennis ball with me, and that's because the tumor was the size of a tennis ball. So when I get to Wilson, it's at a moment where we've just had this big emotional fun. I tell stories about my three daughters who are 11, 9, and 5. They are just a hoot every single day. Like they are giving me the gift of stories, right, every single day to tell. And then we get to the point of now, like what you were saying, what matters most? What matters most is us being able to give our best to the people in our lives and the goals in our lives. And there are struggles that we have to overcome to be able to access our best. Then I tell the Wilson story. And the Wilson story is about a huge struggle that the speaker went through and the lessons that he learned to be able to be a better Christian husband, father, businessman, friend, speaker, trainer today. I'm better today because of the struggle I went through. Because I, we are either defined by our struggles or we're defined by how we respond to them, right?
Right.
And so the application to the students is you've got a Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You've got something that's holding you back from giving your best. What are you doing about it? Are you going to work on it? Are you ignoring it? Are you hiding from it? Are you hiding it from others? Are you really recognizing how it's changing you for the worse, not for the better? And then based off of where we are, based off of the room, based off of the students, based off of why they're there, then that dictates what is the message that I will pull out, right? Because I've got, obviously tons of messages that I've learned, tons of lessons that I've learned through that experience. But it's unbelievable, as you know, when you have a personal experience that's that powerful and that real, that makes the messages and the motivation to really listen to the messages even that much more powerful, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
So, what are some success tips that you could share for young people? They're going through school, they've got all these challenges, peer pressure, growing, learning. If you could share just 3 success tips of things that they could focus on to get through, to get to, the comfort of the future that would help
right.
them, what would
Yeah.
they be?
Well, that's tough. That's almost like saying, I know Jerry Seinfeld was asked one time, what was your favorite Seinfeld episode? And he said, well, that's a lot like asking someone, what's your favorite breath of air?
Right.
Well, it's the one now that's going to get me to the next. Like every breath of air is your favorite one, right?
Right.
And so when it comes to messages that I tell students, I think today is probably going to be a good example. I'm getting ready to, when we're done, have 30 student leaders, and I'll have them for 3 hours this afternoon. And the focus of that is going to be about self-awareness. We have a personality profile test that we created. It's called the Viewpoint, and it's like DISC or True Colors or all those that are out there that puts them into one of 4 different boxes. Right? Are you the thinker? Are you the doer? Are you the creative? Always out there, active person, or are you the cool, collected kind of introvert? And the 3 focal points this afternoon is going to be know yourself, be okay with yourself, and then believe in yourself. So know yourself means you need to find out really who you are. How do you put language to your personality, to your likes, to your dislikes, to your beliefs, to your values? You really need to put language to that because in the social media world, young people and adults spend so much time thinking about others, just in a entertainment type of, scanning through news feeds. And what they spend less time on is, okay, what's my news feed look like? Who am I? And not in I need to get other people to look at my Instagram pictures or my Facebook feed, but just in a really knowing who you are, getting language to that. But then the next step, the second lesson this afternoon, and to answer your question, is you need to be okay with that. You need to find peace and be okay with who you are, right? It's an old saying, but it's old for a reason because it's truth that you are who you are for a reason, right? The way that you look, where you're from, the parents you have, the guardians, the friends, the beliefs, you are who you are for a reason. You need to be okay with that. And the quicker that you can be okay with yourself, then you can figure out how to really get to number three, which is believe in who you are. And believe in who you are means self-confidence. It means having not a ego that's out to be egotistical and better than other people, but be proud of who you are, where you're from, where you're going, what your skills are, what your weaknesses are. And whenever you can understand your language to explain yourself and know who you are, when you're okay with that, and you're not in constant conflict with, why am I me? And you have confidence and pride in yourself, then what you're doing is you are basically putting yourself in a position where you can give your best in school. And you want to give your best in school because you're proud of who you are.
Right.
You're not okay with a D, not because your parents or your teachers aren't, because you're not, right? You want to be your best. You get involved in more extracurricular activities at school because you want to challenge yourself, right? You're okay with who you are. You believe in who you are, so you're going to get more involved. You invest more in relationships because you understand that to know yourself, to be okay with yourself, and to believe in yourself, it's more than just you. Life is a team sport. And so you tend to invest more in healthy relationships. So there's so many,
Very
this
different facets.
yeah. There's so many lessons and so many applications that come out of teaching students those three things and helping them understand what that means.
But that's so powerful, Rhett, because when you have confidence in yourself, that's when things like bullying doesn't get to you. You're just
Mm-hmm.
going to say, well, that person's not very nice, and then turn this way. You're not
Right.
going to worry when someone criticizes you. You know that that's their opinion, but I'm good with who I am. So
Right.
everything that you say is so powerful because, yeah, to get to the place where you're going to step out and start to make a difference in the world and other people's lives, you have to have that background. So
Yeah.
that's a great
Yeah.
message. Thank you. Now, Rhett, what where could people follow you? I know yournextspeaker.com is a good
Mhm.
place. Where are some other places if someone wanted to get a hold of you, perhaps have you come to their school? Where are some other places that teachers could get a hold of you as well as students could learn more about what you're doing for other students?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you asking. Yes, yournextspeaker.com is my web home. Your Next Speaker is my company, and so that's home base. I'm on Facebook. I know that you'll have the spelling of my name in this as well, and probably on the screen. And so they can type in my first and last name, and it's such a unique name that my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Pinterest, my YouTube, I mean, all those social media feeds are going to come up just by Googling me. But I spend a lot of time sharing positive messages on my Twitter feed, and that's just my @Rhett Laubach. And I spend a lot of time posting those as well to my Instagram. And so I use my social media for not only doing what everyone does that are parents, showing pictures of my beautiful children, but also sharing positive messages that I'm sharing in the rooms that I'm speaking in. And for teachers, I would encourage you to go to tinyurl.com/what Rhett says. And I encourage you, Andrea, to put that URL on the screen. That's really a place that they'll be forwarded to a photo album of basically things that I teach, quotes that I say. But there's also actual lessons that they could use with their students. My top time management tips are in there, stress management tips, how to engage audiences because I do a lot of presentation coaching as well. And those are all in fun image poster, format. tinyurl.com/what Rhett says.
Got it. I will put
Yeah,
that on the screen. And thank you
yeah,
so much. I've really enjoyed speaking with you,
you bet.
and I'm excited about working a little bit more with you and following you and seeing what's next. It's
Ditto. I feel the same way. I'm excited to to get to know your work more, and I appreciate you having me on today. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Rhett. Well, I look forward to talking to you again and enjoy that presentation in the afternoon. Have a good day.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.